Subdivision surface modeling is a technique to create smooth, flowing surfaces, such as a character, creature, or even the soft cushions of this office task chair. In this scene, the seat cushion is an active OpenSubdiv object. I can change its level of detail at will. The other objects have all been baked or converted to editable poly. To see this a little bit more clearly, let's enable edged faces with F4. Although the seat cushion at the bottom looks rounder and smoother, it doesn't actually appear to have as many polygon wires. Well, that's due to the display mode. Let's investigate. With that seat cushion selected, go over to the Modify panel, and we see that the stack consists of an editable poly base object, and above that, a symmetry modifier. That exists to reflect the polygon surface to the other side. That way we only have to model half of the surface. At the top of the stack is the OpenSubdiv modifier. Its job is to add more polygons and average the angles among those polygons to smooth out any jagged corners. If we disable that top modifier by clicking on the visibility icon, we see the original polygon mesh. So this is what's known as a control cage. It's a means to an end. We're never going to actually render this low level of detail mesh. We're using that control cage as a tool to sculpt with subdivision surfaces. Okay, I'll re-enable OpenSubdiv. If we want to see the actual level of detail or the individual polygons after they've been subdivided, we can disable this option here, isoline display. Turn that off, and now we're seeing all of the individual polygons on the object. We can zoom in there with the Z key. The most important parameter of a subdivision algorithm is iterations, or number of repetitions. This is the number of times a mesh will be subdivided. If we change the number of iterations, we increase or decrease the level of detail. Bring that down by clicking on the spinner. There it is with one iteration. If we bring it all the way down to 0 iterations, we get the original polygon mesh or control cage. As we increase the iterations value, we get more detail on the surface. An iteration value of 2 or 3 is usually optimal. Subdivision surfaces have been implemented in many ways in 3ds Max. The OpenSubdiv modifier is generally the optimal workflow because it has the best performance and the best compatibility with other applications. But we can also subdivide meshes with other modifiers. In the modifier list, we've got several other ones. There's MeshSmooth and TurboSmooth down here, and also something called HSDS, which stands for Hierarchical Subdivision Surfaces. Those modifiers are all considered legacy methods now, so if you see any other tutorials using those modifiers, I recommend that you use OpenSubdiv instead. Okay, I'm not actually adding a modifier, so click out. Subds are also built directly into the editable poly object and the edit poly modifier. That can come in handy sometimes, but in most cases the workflow I'll be demonstrating with the OpenSubdiv modifier is the most effective and flexible. That's a basic introduction to the concepts of subdivision surfaces.